Hey guys, part two. So what are we actually talking about?
What's next? I think.
Yeah, what's next? Yes, you're in the UK.
So we're in the UK, we're in Australia.
About 3 years old now?
About 3 years old.
Yeah.
So we really still have a lot of market penetration to go in Australia. So that's probably what we're going to try and do next. We have way more demand than we have supply still.
Yeah.
So I think...
what are you doing? What are some of the tactics you guys try to solve for that?
Yeah, it's difficult because it's all about onboarding owners. So you've got to find the right owner. You've got to get them on the platform. Then you've got to train them to get up to speed with what they have to do. So that it takes time and money to do all those things. So for us, it's just getting that done as quickly and most cost effective as possible.
Yeah.
We have some plans to get a lot more listings on the platform.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. I think like the last 6 months, we've done something like $19 million worth of inquiry, but we've only been able to actually satisfy about 4 million.
Wow.
So there's a lot there to go. So, and it's still growing. I think this time next year, we could be, more up around 30 million. So, so for us, we're just focusing on getting more product on the platform, in the right product in the right areas, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. The UK is much the same. We've grown significantly. We're up to about 500 listings here, but we just need more. We need more product to be able to satisfy the demand.
Yeah, definitely.
Glastonbury tickets went on sale on the weekend.
Yes, so that.
I think we've already had like 50 bookings for Glastonbury.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think if we had another 500, we could have them booked out. So it's just about getting the right stock. And then next, looking at a couple more countries. So rolling out into more continental Europe, and also in New Zealand as well.
What was your decision process around the countries that you've chosen to roll out into?
Yeah, it was, we looked at lots of different markets. We looked at lots of different, do we go to the US now or not?
Yeah. Do you think that's kind of glamorized rather than the right business decision?
I think for us it came down to we didn't want to operate in 3 time zones at once.
Yeah.
So
wait, you sleep?
Yeah. So we were like, let's just expand into Europe because that's pretty much the same time zone.
Yeah.
And we can sort of focus on that at the same time as we can in the UK.
Yeah.
And there's a huge market there that's not serviced. So combine Australia and the UK together, and it's probably double that for Europe.
Yeah.
So it's a big market. The US is a huge market, but to do the US and do it effectively, you've got to have huge dollars, a huge team. So, we would need to raise a significant amount of money to really take it on really effectively.
Yeah. We raised, 500 million and rolled out 29 new cities over a 12-month period.
That's right.
A big team and a lot of cash.
That's right, exactly. So, for us, we wanted to make sure that Australia stabilised, UK stabilised.
Yeah.
We've got Europe coming on board, and then we can look at the US after that.
Awesome. And as a leader, you've got 2 different teams here in Australia and here in Australia, back in Australia and here in the UK. How do you manage that? How do you make sure you're getting the right people you trust, keeping the culture right, and tackling these sorts of challenges together? Yeah,
I think getting people you trust is very important. My UK team, we've got a great sort of nucleus of the team, and we're going to grow that team pretty soon, I think. But you've got to have the right core people who can understand your vision, agree with your vision, and then be able to go out and execute. And you've got to give them autonomy to go and do it. So for me, it was more about finding people that I get along with, that I can have a bit of fun with, and who buy into my vision. If I can get those things, then they're just going to be able to execute. So that's what we look for. And it was when we found people here, it was about finding people who knew the industry really well connected, and then were able to go out and execute that plan. And now, we've pretty much transitioned in, so Australia's very similar. Yeah. So that team goes and does the same thing in Australia, and I sort of float across both, if you like.
Well, you can go to the beach for a swim or a pub lunch in the UK. Exactly. So how do you then, as a leader, ensure that you're continually developing and staying ahead of the team and keeping up with the business?
Yeah, that's probably it's one of those things that I think a lot of people struggle with.
Alexis is watching. If you want to say hi.
Hello. I think that's one of those things that people struggle with when you sort of move from running your own sort of small marketplace or business, whatever it is, to then becoming a CEO.
Yes. Suits and ties, right?
Yeah. But I think fortunately for me, I've been in management leadership positions, run global teams. So that kind of just comes naturally to me. But I listen to Stackload podcasts. I read lots of books.
What are your go-to podcasts and books that you recommend people watch and read?
Well, the Startup podcast is probably one I love the best.
Yeah. Why is that? It's just
they talk to so many founders. They talk to lots of founders that have failed, lots of founders that have succeeded. Their whole show is about them starting a podcast. Yeah. So the whole thing just is lots and lots about different founders, different ways that people do things, and what worked, what didn't work, and you kind of it also has like this stress anxiety that you have as a startup founder as well. Like you can feel those people going through it. And you're like, that's not just me. Yes. So that's probably my favourite one.
Yeah, definitely. And books, do you think there's any go-to books to read?
Oh, look, I've read every single probably lean startup methodology book there has ever been written. Lots of marketing hack ones. Right, yeah. What we do really is about two core things. That is building an effective platform, but marketing the crap out of it, and hacking that market as much as you can. Definitely. So that's kind of what I focus on is that marketing side of things more than anything really.
Cool. And for I guess a business like yours that started in Australia, the Australian mentality from a lot of investors and mentors and whatnot is do great in Australia, make a great small business, and then think about going overseas. Yeah. You guys have obviously expanded to the UK. Yeah. Did you feel that pressure to be better in Australia before you left? When did you make that decision?
We always planned to do that in the first place. So when we started the business through the Business Accelerator, that was our goal, was to make it successful in Australia. Yeah. Find our customer, find our market, build the platform, and then take it overseas. So we always did that from day one anyway.
And how did you structure things? There's a lot of obviously banking issues. Trying to set up a bank account from afar is always interesting. We've used TransferWise as borderless account API, which makes things easy. No matter where you're transacting in the world. How did you approach it?
We're really lucky. One of the people on our board is a fantastic person named Steph Hines. She has an accounting practice, but she also I think she was the first person in Australia to use Xero for an accounting practice.
Wow.
So
she's got some strings to pull.
Yeah. So she does lots of conferences and lots of stuff. She's on the board of lots of startup companies. Mm-hmm. And so when we say, we want to expand to the UK, she's like, great, go talk to this accountant over here. They'll do everything for you. Perfect. And just take their advice. They'll come back to me. I'll make sure it's all set up properly. So, great.
Sold. Magic. Well, for any startups out there who are looking to open up and operate overseas, you can literally set up a TransferWise borderless account in minutes and start transacting and accept money in a local bank account and then bring it back to your Australian one or whatever. Depends where you're at.
It's getting a lot easier, that's for sure. I think a couple of years ago when we started looking at it,
you would have pulled
way harder. But I think it's simplified a lot now, for sure.
Yeah, especially with that fintech bridge. I think it's just becoming a little bit more acceptable. Yep. Rather than us crazy convicts coming over with a passport, right?
Yes, yeah. I think I remember when we set up our Barclay account, and we were ready to kind of start transacting. Yeah. And they said, "Well, we've never seen Justin," so I had to fly from Sydney to London.
Is Justin real?
Go into the bank account, show them my details, and I'm like, "Cool, done." That was it.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, we had complete walls up, so we just went online, right? But I think that's also good as well, working with other tech startups. Yeah. Because I think everyone just assumes there's going to be stuff ups, assume that you can't just always physically be there and hand over a passport. Don't ask to fax something. Yeah. Just all those things that, it's crazy. So did you guys look at flipping or doing a subsidiary or what process did you take?
We set up a subsidiary company that's wholly owned by the Australian company. And who knows what we'll do in the future, but for the moment that works.
Yeah. And have you found any of the benefits here in the UK running a startup? The R&D tax incentive. how do you approach all those sorts of things?
Yeah, so our accountant gives a lot of good advice around that, but we looked at the, got the acronym wrong, but whatever it's called.
CEIS?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So to be able to be tax benefit for anyone who wants to invest in us from here.
Yep.
The R&D stuff we looked at, and it actually made a lot more sense to do R&D in Australia than it does here.
Interesting. Why did you find that?
They're just the incentives are a lot better in Australia than they were here.
Yep.
In terms of what you actually got back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our tax refund, had we have lodged it here and not in Australia, would have been a lot less. So we sort of weighed up all those things and looked at different grants and all that kind of stuff. But what we actually did was went to the Department of Inland Trade in Australia for the UK and spoke to them, told them we wanted to launch. They helped us out a huge amount. They actually did this whole research project for us.
Wow.
And gave us like a 60-page presentation on the RV industry in the UK. So
where do people go talk to?
I'll send a link.
Thank you.
But yeah, they basically did all this for us, gave us all this stuff, and then as soon as I came to the UK, I went and met with them.
They connect
in
you
London.
with everyone.
Yeah, and they were like, "Cool. What do you need from us? Do you need bank accounts? Do you need lawyers? Do you need whatever?" And they helped me out with everything. So,
Fantastic. Where you are today, trying to, I guess, take that next steps, expanding across different countries. How are you going to keep the culture, do you think, to keep up with this?
I don't know yet. Is the answer.
Maybe go on some camping trips together.
Yeah, maybe. It's difficult when you sort of cross borders like that. I think that what we've kind of done today is ensure that the key people in the business understand and believe what we're doing. And we encourage them to go have lots of team lunches and all that kind of stuff. But it is difficult when you.
Well, it's a relationship, right?
Yeah.
It's not set and forget.
That's right.
It takes work.
Yeah. So we have lots of team meetings and all that kind of stuff, but not being face to face still is difficult.
Yeah.
We do make every single person that comes works for us eat a big spoon of Vegemite. So someone here's going to eat one today.
Can I film it?
So yeah, doesn't matter where they are. They're in Australia or the Philippines or UK or wherever.
Cruel and unusual punishment. Mental health is obviously a huge one in startups and isn't spoken about, I think, enough than it probably should be. How do you make sure that your team's in check? Also, that you're making sure that you're in check. What do you do?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's about having people on my board who I can talk to, and not people that are just there for me to deliver results to. It's for people that actually can help me. And so whenever I've spoken at a company about investing and they want to put someone on the board, then that's where the conversation goes to, is, well, how can that person help me? So don't want to have them on the board just to be able to say, hit those numbers. So the people we have on our board are a really good mix of people that be there and done that before with startups, or have lots of industry experience or whatever it might be. And I quite often call them at 10 p.m. at night and go, what do you think I should do about this? And so that's really important for me. And then also just my network of other founders that I talk to all the time. We have a group of us that goes out for breakfast once a month and just has a chat. And then the team, it's about me bringing that down a layer to the senior managers and being that person they can talk to about things, understanding that they have personal lives that affect everything that they do in their business as well, and then making sure that those people then bring that down later as well to the people that they look after.
Yeah, that's awesome. And startups always seem to question when's the right time to bring on board. Is it going to hinder their ability to completely stuff some things up and just keep moving, or is it going to be actually giving them that advice and helping them take